Welcome. Welcome to TimWhoTV. I'm your host, Timothy.
Christina.
And Christina. Camera's vertical today, so it's a little harder, but I'm charging the phone at the moment, so not enough cord, right? Welcome to TimWhoTV and Michigan News. And this is the Kringe report. Yes, we're going to go and see what world events are taking place right now and report on those in our own special way that we do. So thank you for joining us on what always seems to be an epic adventure of the goose and the property of the gander, if you catch my drift. Well, let's have a peek. Let's share this screen. And as always, there we go. Put my eyeballs on. Christina's at the operating the background sounds for us, so thank you, Christina.
Yo.
And we actually have movement. I think it likes the vertical position better. So what is this we have? Welcome. Wow. Apple, Meta, gave user data to hackers. There we go. So, I had to get that adjusted right. Me and Bruce Willis, yeah. He's having issues right now. He is. Isn't that right, Bruce? Yeah. Bruce is having issues. He's going to take a little time off from Hollywood. Seems to be having some memory dysfunction. His daughter, Rumor, was discussing it. Maybe we'll go over that later. And then, as you know, of course, we've got hackers and Apple and, The Rock, right? And when I first read that, I was thinking, The Rock, not Chris Rock. I didn't even know Chris Rock was still around. No, sure didn't. What a surprise. I don't know. There's always a reason for a distraction, and what can you do with that? Let's get going here. Welcome to the daily Kringe report. What if Putin didn't manscape is what I was going to say. But what if Putin didn't masculate? Oh, that either. So Putin neither masculated or manscaped. But what if he didn't miscalculate? That's a question mark, huh? You're right, he certainly is. But he's got a smile on his face like he manscaped. Maybe he did. Being lied to by own advisors. I would assume that would be Putin. And fighter jets that violated Swedish airspace equipped with popsicle sticks. Yeah, popsicle sticks. Vlad shells areas where vowed to scale back, while 4 million have now fled. Currently in Michigan, we have moderate to heavy rains with 1, 2, 3 punch coming for this weekend to bring in some historic weather, right? Nobody's seen it yet, but it's coming. The weather will be historic, unfortunately, and I'm going to have to go driving in it. Let's continue. U.S. sends 100 killer Switchblade drones to... What did I say? Yushka. Yeah, Yushka. Rain. I don't know. Poland to end oil imports, and Germany warns on gas, while Russian newscaster calls for reinstatement of partner who apparently is Trump. While Meta gave user data to hackers. Was it a hack? You'll have to see. It's always an act. Positive drug test among workers, 2-decade high. Wow, 1 in 5 run out of money before payday. Well, that's certainly, I understand that whole concept. Life ratings drop to 13-month low. Life ratings, huh? How was your life rating today? Right? Bruce Willis retires from acting at age 67 while it's the weather.
I wish to create a perfect human being, lacking the best organs from business growth.
Well, that's strange.
Human being, lacking the best organs from business growth.
All scratchy.
I wish to create a perfect human being, lacking the best organs from business growth. I wish to create a perfect human being, lacking the best organs from business growth. I wish to create.
Maybe I'm having some cognitive brain disorder. Wow.
Human being, lacking the best organs from business growth. I wish to create a perfect human being, lacking the best organs.
Issues on set of recent films. While Tiger Woods sparked speculation of shock return at Masters. A new Sin City casinos could be coming to New York City. While BlackRock president says this entitled generation now is going to learn about shortages. While Biden says fourth shot felt wonderful. I bet it did. That's good. I encourage that. Keep taking them. As it creeps closer, restrictions fall. There's not a lot I can say about all that. Update Academy outrage Will the William Smith behavior decision be changed and his Academy Award be removed from him? Doubtful. But it could take weeks to decide this controversial move by the Mr. Smith during a almighty triumph to the wizards of the world. And this return on how to handle this and why would he face little more than a slap if charged. And Jervis mocks meltdown with alopecia joke. Say that 3 times. While officials bracing for unprecedented strains at the Mexican border. Is that from Americans going to Mexico, or it's those Ukrainians? That's right. While fugitive flamingo, whom escaped zoo 17 years ago, has now been seen on Texas as he apparently looks different than the rest. Probably no flamingos in Texas. While the love hormone turns fierce lions into kittens. Meow. And venom from sea snails. Sounds like a good new source of food. Right? Yeah. Seashells to Putin shells. So the venom from sea snails could hold the key to future painkillers while you continue to eat a credit card's worth of plastic every week. In Germany, while you're eating the plastic, right? While you're eating the plastic, Germany, Austria take steps towards rationing of the gasoline. That means you each only get a certain amount regardless of your industry of work, because we have things handled. While Biden is to lift Title 42 border policy, allowing more immediate deportation, as Collins to back Jackson for Supreme Court. The Supreme Court. That's an interesting group. I have a little topic from Alan Salisbury regarding the metrics of our words and how we relate to the world and the world relates to us through language, right? Right. As we speak, we cast visions and spells and create a reality around us. That's why how these words work that I'm reading to you. Anyway, magazine white people are acting so weird as we see this Meta fraud suit over and over again, right? Yeah. I have a pimple right there too. Okay. Facebook paid Republican firm to malign with TikTok as Zuckerberg is away from the office. His people will play. And how Google, Amazon bankrolled grassroots activists to lobby against big tech oversight, as big stock sales supposed to be secret numbers indicate they aren't. And Whammo to send driverless cars through San Fran, as holy grail of gambling could break sports betting wide open. And are some humans, some beings of hue, some beings of color immune to the super life jacket? It's not very informative, is it? Let's jump into one of these articles. Should we go where the red letters take us? Let's check this out, right? What are we talking here? As Yahoo News and Finance reports, Bloomberg, Apple, and Meta gave user data to hackers who used forged legal requests. Forged, to forge something. Bloomberg, Apple Inc., and Meta Platforms Inc., the parent company of Facebook, provided customer data to hackers who masqueraded as law enforcement officials, according to 3 people with knowledge of the matter. 3 people. Knowledge of the matter. Apple and Meta provided basic subscriber details such as customer address, phone number, IP address in mid-2021 in response to forged emergency data request. Normally, such requests are only provided with a search warrant or subpoena signed by a judge, according to the people. However, the emergency requests don't require a court order, nope, because you registered your device. Yeah. Snap Inc. received a forged legal request from the same hackers, but it isn't known whether the company provided data in response. It's also not clear how many times the companies provided data as prompted by forged legal requests. See how that word forged keeps getting worked in there? Cybersecurity researchers suspect that some of the hackers sending the forged requests are minors located in the United Kingdom and the United States, and one of the minors, Uno, is also believed to be the master of the mind behind the cyber crime, the mastermind of cyber crime group Lapsus. While hacked Microsoft Corp, death, right? Corp, a dead corp. Samsung Electronics Company and Nvidia Corp, among others, the people said. City of London police recently arrested 7 people in connection with an investigation to Lapsus. See, and then you have the little, see, the sigil at the end, right? Right. Hacking group, the probe is ongoing. An Apple representative referred Bloomberg News to a section of its wall enforcement guidelines. The guidelines referenced by Apple say that a supervisor for the government or law enforcement agency who submitted the request may be contacted and asked to confirm to Apple that the emergency request was legitimate, and the Apple guidelines state, "We review every data request for legal sufficiency and use advanced systems and processes to validate law enforcement requests and detect abuse," says spokesman Andy Stone in a statement. "We," I quote, "block known compromised accounts from making requests and work with law enforcement to respond to incidents involving suspected fraudulent requests as we have done. In this case, Snap had no immediate comment on the case, but a spokesperson said the company has safeguards in place to detect fraudulent requests from law enforcement, and law enforcement around the world routinely ask social media platforms for information about and for use against users as part of criminal investigations in the United States. Such requests usually include a signed order from a judge. The emergency requests are intended to be used in case of, yes, imminent danger." Right? Bless. Oof. Imminent danger. There's something in the rain. It's making me all twitchy in the nose, and it certainly is. Okay. Well, so it sounds like they've got it all handled, right? Recursion team is no longer active, but as many of its members continue to carry out hacks under different names, including as part of Lapsus, the people said. And the story continues. Forged. Let's do a new page. There we go. There we go. Forged. Copied, fraudulently, fake. They have illegally entered the United Kingdom using forged travel documents. Adulterous, commencious. Right. Right, you get the idea. Maybe. There we go. Right on. I get the idea. Alright. There it is. There you have it. Apple hacks were forged. The hacks were fake? Is that what I'm getting? They were forged? Forged documents. So forged is fake, right? AI is fake intelligence. Forged is fake information. A lot of this news, I guess you could say, is forged. What if? What if? What if? What if? Right here. Oh, it's another Yahoo from Bloomberg. Seems to be rather a frequent representation of news in this site. BlackRock president says entitled generation now learning about shortages. Bloomberg, BlackRock Inc. President Rob Kapito warned that inflation is having dramatic effects on the economy, with an entire generation now learning what it means to suffer from shortages. For the first time, this generation is going to go into a store and not be able to get what they want, Capito said at a conference held in Austin by the Texas Independent Producers and Royalty Owners Association. And we have a very entitled generation that has never had to sacrifice. For in fact, the economy is reckoning with what he dubs scarcity inflation, or the fallout from a shortage of workers, agricultural supplies, and housing, and olive oil as well, right? I can't see nothing. My article disappeared.
I'm ringing the bell.
There
it is.
I would put on your seatbelts. I would put on your seatbelts because this is something that we haven't seen, Capito said. Capito co-founded New York-based BlackRock, which is now the world's largest asset manager with about $10 trillion in client assets investments across this global economy. They are. It's more of a BlackRock advertisement, right? Get ready to suffer. That's what he's saying. Everything went Capito. Biden says fourth shot felt wonderful. Right. There's really nothing here. I mean, I'm really struggling to find something. Love hormone, right? That's what you want to see, love hormone. Turns fierce lions into kittens. Sure does. So scientists who spent years spraying oxytocin, not cotton. They weren't giving them heroin, but they was giving them oxytocin up the noses of lions found that the big cats became much friendlier with their neighbors and less prone to roaring at strangers. I wonder if it works on the dogs. Right? And less prone to roaring at strangers when dosed up on the so-called love hormone. Love hormone. The love of... The results published in the Journal of Science on Wednesday. Oh, iScience. Slid that in there. Could have major benefits for conservation efforts because that way they can live with the chickens. Conservation efforts as unfamiliar prides are increasingly forced by urban sprawl to live together in reservations. And I've always loved lions, says this neuroscientist. The first author, Jessica Burkhart, had told the AFP, explaining that she became involved in the research because she had grown so tired of an examining of the animals' brains. She was a brain examiner in the lab and wanted to study them in real life. I want to get outside the body and understand them from outside the mind. Cats in general have a reputation for independence, but lions buck that trend and living socially in prides as they win and defend prized territories of the African savanna. If you think about male lions, for example, they will leave the pride when they're a couple of years old, and they will meet up with other male lions they don't know and they're not related to, and they will form lifelong bonds, says Burkhart. And these types of behaviors indicated that lions, unlike solitary cheetahs or leopards, are biologically programmed to be in some social situations, making them an interesting test species for oxytocin intervention. Yeah, it worked well with the whole pellets in the field for the swine, right? To get rid of the swine problem, and now they all have this prion thing going on. Yeah, deer, bunny rabbits, out of health. Across mammals, oxytocin is the chief molecule strengthening social bonds and sometimes called the cuddle chemical. Oh, that's sweet. It surges inside the brain of a mother when she... Can I get some cuddle chemical? I need some cuddle chemical. It surges inside the brain of a mother when she gazes into her newborn's eyes, promoting feelings of well-being and happiness while causing the baby to watch. Its mother's eyes. Similar effects have been documented in other species as well as between dogs and their human owners. And therapists even suggest couples experiencing problems can benefit from increased eye contact, which releases oxytocin. Oh, so that's why they don't want us looking at each other. We gotta go through these cameras. so we don't get, and we're not getting any oxytocin release. Working on a wildlife reserve in Dinokeng, South Africa, in the summers of 2018 and 19, Burkhart and colleagues from the University of Minnesota ran a test using hunks of raw meat to lure lions to a fence. The hormone had to be sprayed directly up the nose using a vice or a device that looks like an antique perfume bottle, so it would travel straight to the. It sounds like those test things that they had for the thing, where they go right up to the brain. Once again, what is wrong with that area? After the treatment, 23 lions given oxytocin became more Could it be? What if it's a love? What if we were given a love hormone? Wow. No wonder the fourth one was the best for him. It's the love hormone. Yeah. Right on. After the lions were treated with oxytocin and we gave them their favorite pumpkin toy to play with, we saw the average distance between them drop from about 7 meters with no treatment to 3.5 meters with oxytocin, says Burkhart. The lions didn't roar back. Nope, they were pretty subtle. And they played recorded roars of unfamiliar intruders, unlike those in a control group who are either weren't sprayed with anything or were sprayed with a saline solution. The conservation benefits lowered hostility towards strangers or governmental officials, right? So if you give these creatures oxytocin, they're more likely to be more lovely to their hostile keepers, right? And this keeps them safe that way, right? Keep the lions happy and the farmers stay safe as well. Okay. All right. Oh, it promotes positive feelings to those within a group. Have you had your joy today? Have you had your joy? Because oxytocin is known to have a dark side in humans. I didn't say it. Well, sort of. While it promotes positive feelings to those within a group, it can increase rivalry against outsiders. Okay, so you have your groups, and they become committed in love to those groups, and they're not going to let any outsiders out. So if you're one of them, if you're a popcorn eater and someone else is an ice cream eater, those two groups aren't going to get together, right? And then, and then you have the clothing people. You have the people who think they have to cover everything up with clothing to keep them protected, because we all have cuckoos, right? We all have cuckoos. We all got cuckoo puffs.
In all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murder.
They are. The treatment could be helpful in a number of scenarios, she says. First, it could help bond unfamiliar lions rescued from abusive situations. I wonder how that works with separated children in Holocaust situations. If that could be helpful. Because that's what we're looking to do in the long term, is to be helpful. That cities in African, now that we have African sprawl, and encroach upon lions' territory, conservationists are forced to transport the cats to private reserves where unfamiliar prides are housed together. It could also help relocations to the wild, helping lions become more inclined to their new social. I've heard of some other things that the pride needs to become socially acceptable to. This is interesting. One fear is that unscrupulous operators in the vein of infamous Tiger King Joe Exotic might try to use a chemical to help run zoos that promote cub petting, and heavily criticized by cub petting. the truth is, people are corrupt.
The ghoul can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the skull.
But even hurt, says Burkhart. And I guess that's how they end it. So there we have it. Everyone's asleep.
Murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. Murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers.
It's painful to wait for this. Oh, we're back.
There we go.
There it is. Oh, the credit card. Yes, the credit card. The credit card. Hello and welcome to the credit card that you eat every day. I know, right? Oh, it's loading. Gut health. That's always good to have. You're eating a credit card's worth of plastic every week, and it's altering your gut makeup. I wonder if Maybelline has something for that. How much plastic is sitting on your gut? If you think the answer is 0, think again, because we've been putting it in different products. What? A recent review suggests people consume about 5 grams of plastic particles per week, the equivalent of the weight of a credit card. Nanoplastics are any plastics less than 0.001 millimeters in size, and microplastics, on the other hand, are 0.00125 millimeters, and on some occasions, still visible to the naked eye. Why is the eye always so naked? Huh? Why is the eye naked? Why is the eye unclothed?
What do they peel it back? Like in cataract surgery.
I don't know.
Let's see what's in there.
Most microplastics and nanoplastics find their way to the human through the food chain and packaging waste. Plastic particles can enter the body through seafood, salt, or drinking water. And one study referenced the review found people who drink the recommended 1.5 to 2 liters of water a day from plastic bottles take in 90,000 plastic particles per year from this way alone, and people who opt for tap water reduce their ingested amount to about 40,000 plastic particles. Okay, so the bottled water for $2.50 is worse for you than the shit out of your tap for 15 cents a gallon. Okay. And that's and then you put it in a glass, right? And then you give it a little love. You look at the water and you give it positive, and you clean it and cleanse it, and then you drink it, and it's much better for you. But I'd rather spend $2.50 for some water at the gas station. Research exploring the number of micro and nanoplastic particles in the gastrointestinal tract has shown its presence is changing the gut microbiome composition. The changes it's making are linked to the emergence of metabolic diseases such as diabetes, obesity, and chronic liver disease. Not only are the changes in the gut microbiome apparent, but scientists have also broken ground on the molecular mechanisms behind the uptake of micro and nanoplastic particles in gut tissue. Both microplastic and nanoplastic particles potentially activate mechanisms involved in local inflammation and immune response. Evidence has shown that nanoplastics in particular trigger. Oh, hello, Debbie. Thank you. Sorry. Evidence has shown that nanoplastics in particular trigger chemical pathways involved in the formation of cancer. She got me all choked up. I can't even talk now. While ingesting plastic is harmful to everyone, it is more detrimental to people with chronic diseases. A healthy gut is more likely to ward off the health risk. Well, that makes sense. Probiotics and healthy stuff. While ingesting plastic is harmful, it is more detrimental for people with healthy gut. That's common sense shit right there. While ingesting plastic is harmful to everyone, it is more detrimental to people with chronic diseases. A healthy gut is more likely to ward off the health risk. Okay, so as long as you have a healthy gut, then the plastic's no problem. It's like when you
Well,
feed
it's like coffee and water. As long as you have enough water with your coffee, a cup full of water with your coffee.
a cup
it's no
full
big
of
deal.
water a day. Huh? Oh, I have lots of. That's
Yeah,
why I
'cause you
filter
gotta
my
wash it
coffee.
in. Yeah,
I
you
do.
gotta
I
thin
filter
it
it.
out.
I put a
It's the
filter.
sugar.
There's this thing I use, this piece of paper, and I put my coffee in it, and then I put it inside this thing, and I pour water on top, and then it goes through this heater thing, and it falls through this filter and catches all the plastic in the coffee. Just trying to working with something here. While ingesting plastic, we did that. So here we go. 5 innocent people. That's those present in chronic disease are even. It's throwing me off. but could make them susceptible to harmful effects of MNPs. Oh, we have a fancy term here, MNPs, right? Medical University of Vienna in a statement. MNPs. Where did we get that one? Minuscule nanoparticles. Is that what that is? All right. The research was published in the journal Health and Exposure. I am dyslexic. Well, that's interesting, right?
I suppose.
No, it's so fantastic.
It's great to know that you're drinking plastic and eating plastics. That's wonderful.
Well, they let us know.
Hey, but it's okay.
They let us know.
You just gotta take our
Rumor has
probiotics,
it.
That's all.
Rumor has it.
Right on.
Look,
They're screaming.
not a sign of a human. Just
I'm trying not to talk. I'm trying not to say anything.
why people are acting so wired. That's weird. Oh, we know people are acting weird anyway. I don't even know if I want to go into this. People are always acting weird, right? Oh, and this is from the Atlantic, so you know. Crime, unruly passengers, and incidents and other types of strange behavior have all soared recently. And why is that? Says Olga Kazan.
Oh, are we going to discuss that later?
What?
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Well,
We were
Man,
going to do
no,
a
I'm
hangout
sorry.
with that one.
the article is featured in one story to read today, a newsletter in which our editors recommended a single must-read from the Atlantic, Monday through Friday. Yeah. There you go. I advertised for you. Everyone is acting so weird. The most obvious recent weirdness? Will Smith. There we go. The smackdown again.
What?
Yeah, it's always somewhere.
What?
Everyone's getting in on it. Chris Rock has at the Oscars, but if you look closely, I just
That's
look. If I'm gonna hit
That's
somebody,
nothing. That's
if I'm gonna hit somebody, I'm not gonna do it that way.
What was Gina talking about?
I don't know.
She was talking about something really important that was in your face, kind of weird.
So this is all about. This
like
is
you don't
their.
know how to
This is
cope
their
with what
little
you're
thing to
reading.
get into the whole Chris Rock act. The gate agent looked as he was about to punch. Oh, and then you have this other thing of the guy in the Atlanta airport last
You're
week.
reporting on sterile stuff. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, I
It's so
didn't
sterile.
know what was
Gina
here.
says it better.
It's raining. It's raining. There's nobody wearing masks on any bus in this goddamn town before calling his fellow passenger a liberal. Yes. During this planned disorderly rudeness and unhinged conduct seems to have caught on as much as bread baking in Bridgerton. See this article. This article is
I'm
just.
trying to give you some flow.
I'm
Hang on.
I'm out of here. I'm out of it.
Oh, okay.
No,
I
I'm-
was going to try and give you some flow other than the person talking in the background.
Yeah, no, I'm-
distracting you.
No, I'm out of that article. I'm so out of it. I think I'm gonna go to work and see what they offer me later because
Yeah.
gas rationing, credit cards, flamingos,
Well, we can always come back in depth with that one article.
you know, casinos.
And
I mean, cognitive brain disorder, that affects me a lot. Right. Oh, this is about Bruce again. So we have to. Bruce wasn't getting enough attention because of the whole Chris Rock, and so now they pull out the sympathy thing. Let's take the attention away from. Give Will Smith. Bruce! Bring out Bruce! And then Whoopi will come out too, and she'll. Did she?
Did. Yeah. She
Oh.
Yeah, she already did.
Okay.
Whoopi did it.
Isn't that what? Look, Bruce Willis puts on acting career on pause, diagnosed with alopecia.
What?
No, alopecia is that thing Will Smith smacked about. This is aphasia.
Oh, aphasia.
This is aphasia. Okay. So he's not on pause because of alopecia. It's aphasia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Well, sort of, yeah. Right. For sure. All right. Well, that's from TMZ.
I don't know what else to say, but
I don't know what else to say either. I think that's our cringe report for the day.
Just scream
I thank you. I appreciate it. And I think we'll do the Moon King thing here in a little bit, where I just drive around town and we see whatever comes to mind. And it's raining today, and it's supposed to get, that 1, 2, 3 punch here in Michigan. Oh yeah, Michigan. What's going on in Michigan? I mean, after all, right? Where's my Michigan? There's my Michigan.
Well, at the end of Moon King, we're going to come back and park it to where we have a better signal. And
yeah, the signal's a little rough on the road, but
yeah.
So the refresh. I was looking for the refresh
between
button.
12 and 1:30, somewhere around then.
How am I missing the refresh button?
What? Isn't it right there?
It's usually right there, but that's all right. Oh, there it is. I don't know why. My throat's so scratchy. No, I don't. This is the weekend blast that's coming. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened here. News. Right? So professional. Get up out of the way here. I got someone sitting next to me here. Leaning over here. It's a little bit of a distraction, so that's how I have to work it.
Is that a good flip?
Muskegon Public Safety Director job offered to former gang specialist from Chicago suburb. Faulty traffic signal causes crash in Jackson. What else we got here? The FBI informant, others fear charges and refuse to testify in Governor Whitner kidnap plot trial. With historic $55 million investment, Grand Rapids officials set sights on transformative park and trails because they're going to take you off your cars because you won't be able to afford it. So they need to have pathways that they can monitor that you're going to... Oh, never mind. That you're going to enjoy. Oh, and then they just built a new hospital here in town. A nice big, I don't know, it's like 8-10 story McLaren hospital building. We got 1, 2, now we have 4, 5. There was 2 main ones, Sparrow and McLaren, who used to be Regent Ingham Medical Center. And then you had the Looney House, the St. Lawrence, because there's always a saint involved. And then you had a Lansing General thing, right? Well, those 2 hospitals kind of went out of business, so they were taken over by both Sparrow and McLaren. Now McLaren building, it's all being congregated. But anyway, Tri-County law enforcement leaders promote an effort to recruit local diverse officers. The program pays local cadets through the police academy and gives them a salary. While Clint Black to perform this summer at Flint's Capitol Theater. Oh yeah, we got the solar thing coming in. We sure do. We got some blasts coming from the sun up there.
Well, every time they say that, nothing ever happens.
Nothing ever happens. But they say strong geomagnetic storms, it's going to hit the Earth's upper atmosphere. Push. I'm pushing the button.
So I say just
It's not giving me anything. It's not giving me anything. Oh, here it is. Yeah, updated March 30th. This is today. Strong geomagnetic storm watch has been issued. And when, where, well, these northern lights dance across your sky, as Mark Terragrossa is promoting. Several waves of geomagnetic energy are expected to hit Earth's upper atmosphere. That significant amount of solar energy could spark some northern lights across the northern U.S. Yep. Initially, NOAA noticed an eruption on the sun's surface. That sounds like the sun erupted like a boil on the sun's surface in the morning, and we're going to get splattered with all that eruption. It's like, and the sun's surface the morning of March 28th, 8, 9, 10. And the storm's geomagnetic energy from that eruption was pointed directly at this Earth. This has led... They act like at Earth, like they're someplace else other than Earth. That's why I had to point that out. This Earth. This led NOAA to issue a moderate geomagnetic storm watch for tonight. Then around 4 hours later, on the March of 28th, as we march through this crazy time, another eruption of energy was observed, thus throwing out a second wave of energy called a coronal mass ejection. Another violent pointed straight at the Earth. And NOAA also states that there may be a third 1, 2, 3 punch, right? The storm, the 1, 2, 3 punch. The second CME is traveling faster than the first CME, and you know what that means. Do you know what that means? That means that the second blob of energy that will catch up to the first blob of energy and increase the blob's geomagnetic effect on the Earth's energy. When the abundant solar energy hits the atmosphere, northern lights could be created. NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center forecasts the northern lights creating energy to hit Earth's atmosphere tonight between 8 p.m. and... Oh, we'll be out there. We'll be streaming. We'll be able to see the glowing obstacles in the sky, right? The orbs and stuff. Yeah, the interaction. It's usually green. I don't see nothing yet. And at 11 p.m. at some point at that time, NOAA predicts a KP of 7, which is a number that correlates to the likelihood of abundance in southern visibility of northern lights. When the KPS is 7, northern lights are likely over northern latitudes along the U.S. border, as this graph shows. But I'm still here. I'm still here. Some kind of interruption. Yeah, it's back. It's still there, right? Yeah. It came back. I see I lost. Yeah.
You had to do it within a certain amount of time.
I made it. I made it.
You made it within the amount of time that they
sure
don't
did.
show on the screen.
So,
or it should be important. You show it. Warning! You had to scroll over.
There's some things going on over here, and I'm not quite used to it. Usually there's no one around me, but so.
Knock knock.
The knock seems to be a bit of a distraction. I apologize. Well, so little chitty chat. I don't see much going on in the news. I really don't. What is it? Tuesday, Wednesday. It's Wednesday. 5:30 in the afternoon.
So be ready for Moon King. Hang with us
the
if you
Moon
like.
King.
We're trying to work out the kinks on that one.
I gotta try to.
Broadband. We're trying to find free broadband.
No, it's not free broadband.
Well,
No,
we're trying to free up some space here to do some data.
It's just that when you're traveling, you lose the signal in and out, and it becomes a little sketchy sometimes. But if you got nothing going on and you want to sit back and I don't know, live life with us, that's cool. We don't always see the chat, so don't be offended. But go ahead and leave a comment or even an emoji. I don't care, and let us know you're there. And we got other things coming, but we have to work everything together, and I have to get comfortable with the programs I'm using, and I'm kind of cramped for space. So anyway, I wanted to get up here today, get caught up. I didn't do nothing. I did a little bit. I did more behind the scenes stuff yesterday, which didn't get me nowhere. So it's a work in progress, and I need a lot of work. I get it. But we got some gardening stuff coming up, and well, that's my plan anyway. I want to do some planting and get some seeds going. But the cold weather won't leave. It's 45 degrees now, but yesterday it was 22 or 18 early in the morning. So you have that. But yeah, I appreciate you tuning in. That's what we got for this Kringe report, and we will see you soon. Thank you. Take care. Whoa.